Slay the Spire is a dungeon crawler deck building card game. Battles are turn-based, and the aim of the game is to climb to the top of the tower and ultimately gain freedom from the dark dungeon that you're trapped in. The game takes about an hour to beat on a successful run, but as a roguelike, it'll probably take between 3 and 10 hours before you're successful, for the first time. When you start a run, the first thing that you will do is choose a starting bonus. These bonuses can vary from gaining items or cards, or gaining maximum HP for example. After this, you are presented with the map. On the map, you are given the information regarding what you'll be up against, which gives you what you need to know to pre-plan your journey up the spire. I generally like paths that have a lot of opportunities for me to gain extra items and bonuses, so I'll choose a road that gives me these options. But oftentimes you'll encounter a rough fight and end up low on HP and need to avoid danger, so I'll also look for alternate routes that avoid combat if such a need arises. Of interest here are the question mark icons, which denote events. These are the most varied locations, containing boons or detriments, trade-offs between good and bad effects, and even just enemy encounters. Very rarely, you can find treasure outright, but when entering an event room, you need to be prepared for the worst, or at least willing to take a gamble. The regular enemy rooms provide money and extra cards for your deck once the enemy is defeated, and the elite enemies also provide artifacts, which provide permanent power-ups for the duration of the run. Shops provide an opportunity to spend hard-earned gold on cards, items, and potions to help you get through. And finally, there are rest sites, which give you the choice between upgrading cards or restoring HP. In Slay the Spire, even though you may have a plan regarding how you want to play, there are a lot of items and cards to receive as rewards. As you aren't able to choose the exact rewards that you will receive, the artifacts or cards that you need to make a particular build might not come up, forcing you to adapt and rethink your strategy. You start each attempt with a pre-built deck, and then throughout the climb up the spire, you can modify the deck by collecting more cards or removing some from the deck. When a battle begins, the player's full deck is shuffled, and then combat starts. During combat, the player always goes first, giving you an opportunity to react to the enemy, and most importantly, avoid damage if possible, as resting sites that allow you to restore health don't come along often. At the start of a turn, the player will draw a new hand of cards, and they will receive 3 energy by default. Every card has an energy cost, and this will be deducted from the player's total when played. To play a card, you can click the card and then click a target, or drag a card to the target. Both methods feel smooth and responsive, and as this is the most common action in the game, it's good that there's no delay or awkwardness in the process. During your turn, you may also play potions, which provide a range of effects, such as damaging the enemy or applying a buff to the player. Once you play your cards, you can end your turn, which discards the rest of your hand, and then the enemy will act. One great aspect of Slay the Spire is that the enemy's next turn is shown to the player. As such, on any given turn, you can tell not only if the opponent is going to attack you, but also how hard they're going to hit, allowing you to take your turn accordingly. This transparency really gives you a feeling of control, and it makes Slay the Spire feel fair, even if some things, like the cards you were dealt, are out of your hands. When your draw deck is empty, the discard pile will be shuffled into a new draw deck, and combat continues until either the enemy or the player is out of HP. Once combat is over, you will receive money and an extra card, and there is a chance of a potion dropping. With all of your rewards, it is possible to skip taking them if you want to keep your deck small, for example. When beating a boss or an elite enemy, they are also guaranteed to drop an item called a relic. For the most part, relics provide permanent bonuses to your character that can really change how the game plays. For example, one relic might give you bonus energy, allowing you to play extra cards each turn, but enemies will start with extra strength, allowing them to do extra damage. Every run in Slay the Spire is going to play a little differently. As I mentioned earlier, even if you want to play a specific way, it's unlikely that you're going to get the exact cards and artifacts that you want. Although you might not expect a deck building game to have so much replay value, Slay the Spire is extremely punishing, but at the same time, if you happen to get great cards and artifacts, your character can become so powerful that you feel unstoppable. I've personally tried to replay a successful run, only to not get the cards that I was looking for, and discover an entirely new, powerful way to play. This variation is one of the main reasons that Slay the Spire is so addictive. I haven't even mentioned that there are 3 characters in the game. Each character plays in their own unique way, and it's surprising to see a game that is balanced so carefully for multiple characters. And then Slay the Spire takes it one step further, allowing for a range of builds to actually work well on each. Despite luck playing a part in both the combat and exploration, Slay the Spire rarely feels unfair to the point where you get frustrated. Admittedly, I find that when I get close to beating the game, feeling like I've got a strong build and yet I still lose, there is a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Somehow though, the urge to play again prevails, and I can easily find myself doing it all over again. Slay the Spire is an absolute gem to play. Even if you're not normally into card games, or if the visuals of the game put you off, there is still a lot to love, as the gameplay is spot on, and the replay value is certainly there. With 3 characters to beat the game with, mod support, and a new Game Plus style Ascension mode, Slay the Spire provides a heap of enjoyment and value for money. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like or share the video if you feel so inclined, or leave a comment and I'll get back to you.